And welcome back. NF Live broadcast is still going every week. And this is the Jamie and Joe version. So welcome back to the co-host, Joe Messino. How's the weekend, Joe?
Oh, great. I had a little sleepover.
You did? Hey now.
Hey, a little sleepover with the grandkids.
This is a professional show. So
yeah, it was with the grandkids.
Yeah, all or two or how many?
Two.
Oh, the favorite two, huh?
The favorite two. Yeah. They managed to get breakfast, lunch, and dinner out.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun.
Luca and Tal,
of course.
Great names for the Godfather, so we love it. So welcome back, and congratulations.
Right? Luca Brasi and Talia Shire played Connie.
I know. I got to figure this out for you. Well, I just want to say congratulations, Joe. I know you're a big Cincinnati Bengals fan. So,
big Cincy, love them.
Congratulations to the Bengals and the Rams.
They're in our conference. We got to root for them.
Got to root for somebody, right?
Right?
Obviously not the Steelers, Bucks, or Cowboys.
Yeah.
So we're down to the Rams and the Bengals. So welcome back, folks. We're live today, and we're excited. We're finishing up the month of January 2022. And folks, don't give up. 87% of people already gave up on their New Year's resolutions.
Oh, it's not even the end of January yet.
And I know this is a tough year because the way the holiday fell and, a lot of snow up north and everything, a little cool down in Florida. So, folks, don't give up. If you got a little slow start to the year, myself included, stay on the program. I just did my shake a day.
Okay.
I got the new updated version, of course. I learned a lot last week at the VIP dinner on the power of the microbiome down in Boca Raton, Florida, with the lovely and talented Elizabeth Tringali as a guest speaker. We were sold out at
Did you warm them up for her?
Of course. Had to warm up the audience. So I'm going to go through some of the things I went through last week because, when you look at the power of the microbiome, you also look at the connection with detoxification.
Sure.
It's a 1-2 punch, right? And people really love the fact that Nutritional Frontiers is committed to the lifestyle program, not just products.
Right.
Because you can buy products everywhere and pretty much anywhere. But if it was that easy, Joe, everyone would be in great shape. So we're
if it was that easy, everybody would have started their own nutrition company.
Yeah. Well,
it's not that easy.
It's like any other business, right?
Yeah.
It's much easier.
It goes right along with the whole concept of NF with education. I mean, this is what it's all about, and this is part of that education.
Yeah, and I very proud to announce, celebrated 30 years since I graduated in December. So 30 years already. And a lot of the concepts we're teaching now, we were teaching back then, 30 years ago, right? So food-based, lifestyle-based, emotional wellness, physical fitness, water, food. And I think a lot of people still consider eating healthy as a punishment. And we want to eliminate that because you feel a lot better when you give your body the nutrients it needs. Joe, what's your thoughts on that? Because, I think oftentimes people look at it, I can't have this and I can't have that, and you're a health nut.
No, well, you know what? Being a health nut is what more people should aspire to be, right? I mean, because, this is leading right into, we have this energy going here. We always do, folks. Something always leads to another. But, one of my workshops on the upcoming Wellness Week is going to be on how did we get so far away from let food be your medicine and medicine be your food? Where did we go wrong and how far did we go wrong? So, eating healthy should not be a punishment. It should be a way of life. And you can do it. And you can do it with great tasting food. You can do it with a lifestyle.
And, I want to bring up a great point because I have a lot of great points and great ideas. So we're going to go to the PowerPoint here if the one and only Phil can pull it up. So you look at the Great Pyramid of Health, right? Nutritional Frontiers or NF for Life. This is a lifestyle program, right? And you look at the bottom, right? I think a lot of people know you got to eat healthy, right? You got to drink the right water.
Right.
Let's get into movement, right? Because I want to alleviate the number one concern of people's lack of movement is the weather.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. Is it snowing in your house? Even if you can't get to the gym, right? Is it snowing in your house? Can you do some push-ups or squats? Come on.
Well, I like to go to the gym. And also on Friday, I had about an hour and a half of free time. So I went to my favorite place, the beach.
The beach.
Right? And I got a little steps in. I took a little meditation, a little bit of a nap. And then here I was on Saturday back in Pittsburgh, and there was a lot of snow out. So what did I do? got my boots on, got my gloves, NF hoodie, NF hat, and took the dogs out back. And I was outside, and I said, most people aren't outside today in Pittsburgh.
That's
Why?
Right.
Because it's cold.
Cold and snow.
And why aren't they outside in Florida?
Because they say it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. Yeah. And I said, what would happen if it was 90 degrees in Pittsburgh or Florida? What would they say?
Too hot.
Too hot.
Yeah.
So it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too sunny, too rainy, too snowy. There's always a reason not to. You have to find a reason to go outside. The reason I like to be outside is that's really where you can look within, which leads us right to emotional wellness, right?
Very much. Because
when you look within, that's when you become at peace. Everyone's looking for the stimulation outside, right? It's not going to happen, folks. You can chase anything you want. You're not going to get it. But if you look within, the best way to do that is in nature, being outside.
Yes.
Right?
No doubt about it. Be outside. Everything is flowing outside, right? You got the air, you got the sun.
Everything's flowing, huh?
Flowing. Huh? You even got some water when you're at the beach. Did you walk on the beach barefoot, do some grounding?
How else do you walk on the beach?
A lot of people wear shoes. I mean, it's crazy. They wear tennis shoes.
Shoebies do, not people like us.
No,
come
you
on.
gotta do that ground to
And it's funny you said it, 'cause I was just thinking I was going to say, yes, I did walk. Not only walked on the beach, you have to get your feet wet.
Yeah.
So, it was a little cool, but I did get my feet wet.
Water conducts the energy. Absolutely.
And, you feel better. And like I said, meditation and a little bit of a nap. So it all worked out nice. And then, like I said, I was out both days this weekend. I love the snow, right? But seriously, folks, you need to be active and you need to be out in nature.
Yes, absolutely. You got to be out in nature.
Which brings us to the next one, elimination. You know why they take the dog for a walk?
It stimulates the elimination,
the lymphatic system. Yes. So if you're suffering with, maybe you are bloated, or maybe you have constipation, maybe your bowels aren't really where they need to be, just the movement, right? So when you follow our program, there's a lot of rhyme and reason to it, right? We want you to have better bowel movements and elimination. We want you to have balanced emotional wellness, right?
Yes.
We want you to be able to be active and make sure you get your water and get in the right types of foods.
That's timing is so important with everything, Jimmy. I saw a post on social media this morning. Someone was asking help. I have a 7-year-old who's constipated. What can I do?
Water.
Water, and I'll bet that 7-year-old's been sitting on that gamer for days on end, not moving their body. Come on.
And then I think that's a problem with a lot of kids, right? I was at my daughter's games yesterday, 3 games.
Oh, wow.
They broke the ice, so they got the victory yesterday.
Nice.
She played well. She had fun, and then she jumped on her old team who needed an extra player. So it always works out, right? But it was interesting because a lot of the kids, they're going from sitting all day to now have 2 or 3 games in a day.
Right.
So they're not quite as in shape as they used to be. Mm-hmm. And the other part is they're not playing outside.
That's right. That's right. We were out in the snow. I shoveled the driveway, and the kids were throwing snowballs and Tally was doing cartwheels in the snow.
Well, it's funny because I got the sleds out and I said, if somebody sees me sled riding by myself, they may call 911, right? They're going to say, we got a crazy guy in the yard. Yeah. But I was very tempted. But I like to be outside, folks. That's where you connect. Mm-hmm. That's where you unwind. And you know what? I hear a lot of people saying they're anxious, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know when you have faith and you're outside and you get the fresh air, that reduces all your anxiety. But follow the NF for Life program. And then the number one thing everyone's got to do, Joe, everybody. Now, we have 350 million people in the country. Our goal is to help 1 million people. That's less than 1%. Mm-hmm. And it's challenging.
Yeah.
The easiest thing everyone can do each day is do the shake a day.
That's right.
It's 1 scoop of greens and 1 scoop of power cleanse every day to get all of your levels of the pyramid in one shake.
In one shake. Yeah,
it costs you less than $4 a day. Uh-huh. You can get everything you need in 1 shake a day.
1 shake a day, it's all it takes. I mean, the fact that Power Cleanse really added a couple of the missing pieces of the puzzle, right? All the macronutrients and a full vitamin mineral profile. That's, other shakes, great. Protein shakes, great. Nothing has the macro micro profile.
Yeah, that's what I love. It gets your multivitamin in there. And then when you add in the greens, you get your prebiotic, your probiotic, your enzymes, your phytonutrients. They're all in there. So again, you look at the pyramid, we got them all covered.
Right.
All you need to do is 1 scoop of each. Now, I've recently increased my program.
Of course you did.
Because with all the research I had previous to from Dr. Tringali.
Oh, okay.
She did a great job. Elizabeth presented the microbiome, the power of the microbiome. And what's really cool was I've been adding in 2 scoops of IgG and a scoop of Folate.
Wow. Into your Power Cleanse greens.
Yes.
Wow.
And an extra scoop of protein because, when the workouts are good. And I'll tell you what a difference in about 10 days.
Wow.
Incredible. So, folks, there are ways you can do this, but you got to make sure you get a good quality formula. So at Nutritional Frontiers, everything's guaranteed.
Everything, right.
100% for purity and potency. We have the quality. Every formula is made in the right facility. We have a money-back guarantee. But the biggest difference, Joe, because have you ever met anyone that says their company has poor quality?
No, not in this industry, especially.
No. So when we get into the research, this is what makes the biggest difference. Being that we are so blessed to be part of the original Pain Release Clinic, and then the Weiner Wellness Center, and now the World of Wellness, we've seen tens of thousands of case studies and success stories.
And it's not ending. It's still coming.
And we know what ingredients work right. So we put together these unique formulations and use the patented research trademark ingredients. And then we didn't stop there. We looked at what are the key ways to maximize compliance, absorption, assimilation, excretion. And what do we mean by that?
Delivery methods.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go. What's your favorite delivery method?
Wow. I'll tell you. I love them all. Powders, one of my favorite, always was. Love chewables, love liquids. And every once in a while, I'll throw a capsule in.
There we go. Do you like really big horse tablets?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I didn't think so. Because I've done many surveys. Contrary to popular belief at some large companies, they promote a lot of huge tablets.
They sure do.
Which patients do not like.
Little clinical pro for everybody out there. If you are buying and using those huge horse tablets, try breaking them between your fingers. If you can't easily break it, guess what? It isn't breaking down in here.
And even if you can, I prefer powders,
Absolutely.
chewables, and veggie caps myself. We have liquids. We have a lot of options. And we use the patented research trademark ingredients. Why is that so important?
Science, the studies. That's one of those arguments we used to get 20 years
ago. Where's the science?
Where's the science?
Research?
Yeah, well, now we have it.
Yeah.
More than anybody else.
And we're using over 35 PRTs, as we call them. And who's going to outservice us?
Nobody.
We're live today. Last week, we had the VIP dinner. Joe, where are you going this week?
I'm going to try to hit some of that Sunshine Beach that you were at last week.
You're going on the West Coast.
I'm going on the West Coast, yeah.
And you know what? It was actually a cold wave going through when I was there.
I heard all about it.
People were wearing coats and hats and gloves.
Yeah, I'll be out on
I was still in shorts and a
t-shirt.
Yeah, and flip-flops. Somebody looked at me. And, of course, had the roof of the car down. And people were saying, what's wrong with these guys? They must be from out of town, right? And then here are some of the certifications to prove, because we test every single ingredient of every product with Nutritional Frontiers label on it is tested for what? Purity, potency, and contamination.
That's right.
And that's really the key, Joe, because we need to make sure.
You know what else, Jamie? Not only that, but every one of those tests are available if people want to see them. You can't walk into a big box store or even a small, like a general kind of nutrition store and ask for that certification.
No.
First of all, they won't know what it is.
No. So we are totally transparent, but look at the results we get. Look at the formulations. Look at all the research that we have, right? And look at our education that you have full access to. So we're exposed to a lot of different toxins, right? This has been proven over and over and over again, but molds, funguses, pesticides, dioxins, plastics, solvents, perfumes, you name it, we're exposed to. You ever meet someone, and maybe even you or me, and have what we call multiple chemical sensitivities?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because your body can only handle so much of these foreign invaders that are not of nature, not of the earth. And when it gets overloaded, then those things start to have reactions in the body. And then those reactions, Jamie, compound. And now you've got a chain reaction of just problems.
Yeah, I equate it to if you have a glass of water, right?
Yep.
You're sitting there, you have a glass of water, and the glass is full to the top. If you have a full glass or your body is full of toxins, the smallest amount will overflow, right? And that's what happens when you have multiple chemical sensitivities. Right. Maybe it's perfumes or cigarette smoke. For me, it's tar outside. I used to do that for in construction.
You can probably smell it miles away, right?
I can right away. Yeah. I can feel it right here in my head. And I said, they're doing asphalt a couple miles ahead, and people start laughing. We pull up, oh, how'd you know? Mm-hmm. So I could smell it that far away. So when you're around these chemicals a lot, that's why, depending on your career, you got to be very careful, right? Maybe you're a commercial carpet installer, right?
Oh, God, yeah. There's the chemicals on those carpets are just...
according to Dr. Robert Roundtree, medical doctor from Colorado, when he was doing his seminar series 20 years ago on toxicity, he said that new car smell, you should stay out of it for 30 days. Yeah. I go, I love it, though. He goes, yeah, it's really addicting. He says also, if you get carpets in your house, he goes, it's impossible not to be in it for 30 days. But what about if you're laying those carpets?
Oh, they're just exposed to it on a regular basis.
Yeah, a lot of lung issues, sinuses, nasals, but so many different things. Heavy metals, a lot of it before was from paints.
Sure.
Now it could be from medications and vaccinations. It could be from the water supply. We saw what happened in Flint, Michigan.
Yep. And even if it's not that bad, it's still, no matter where you are, loaded with chlorine and fluoride. So, yeah, there's always...
Oh, in Florida, Joe, get ready, because you can smell...
That's the one bad thing.
There's nothing perfect. One bad thing.
One bad thing.
You can smell the chlorine actually in the water.
If you could put New York's water in Florida, you'd have paradise, right?
And the pizza and bagels.
And the pizza and bagels.
But you got to be careful, because we used to say, when you travel out of the world, excuse me, or to a third world country... You got to be careful of the water.
Yeah.
However, what have we found?
Anytime out of your normal daily life.
Yeah.
Yes.
As soon as you get out of your county or your maybe even your borough where you live, your township, right? Because the water is so different everywhere you go. So be careful. The second thing is food. I'm so proud because I was doing so good on my program, eating a lot of fish, and then Elizabeth Tringali did some testing on me. And, she says, look, when you have candida, you have psoriasis, you can have diabetes, whatever may be tied into those things. It's usually a heavy metal toxicity, right? And she tested me, and I says, I'm not high. She goes, well, it's 0 to 10. She goes, you don't want any mercury in your system.
Right.
Or heavy metals. You're at 9.84.
Yeah, you're almost overflowing with mercury.
Yeah, not a good thing. So you got to be careful. You have to get the testing done. And you also need to have a strategy, right? Because we are humans, and we want to make sure that we have a strategy in place.
This is such a great slide for people to use as a guideline.
So the idea on this slide is we want you to understand there's a difference in the fish. The older the fish, the fatter the fish, the bigger the fish, the more toxins they store, just like people.
Right, because they're higher in the food chain, and they're eating all the littler fish who ate the littler fish than them, who ate the littler fish than them, and there's that compounding.
Right, and then you store it. So the older you are, the more you're going to store. The fatter you are, because these toxins are fat soluble, they're going to store in the fat cells. So some of the nice fish, you want to be very careful of the orange rough. Everyone loves that, right?
Yeah.
Sea bass, of course. Then any of the shark, tuna, or swordfish that's really thick like a steak, be careful. Medium, you can do some cod and things like that. Mahi is my favorite.
Halibut's mine. And trout. I love trout.
Yeah, and you can do some on the lower level. So lower level would be weekly. Medium level would be maybe monthly. And then high level would be once in a blue moon. Very limited. Of course, always wild, right? Always. And frozen's okay, but wild or is farm raised. And we hear farm raised, we think it's good. No good.
Not with fish.
Even with food, you got to be careful, not just the fish, but have a strategy in place, because some of the fruits and veggies are known as the dirty dozen. They tend to have more of the herbicides and pesticides on them.
Right.
Why is that?
It's because of the texture of the fruit or vegetable. If it's got a lot of crevices, if it's got a rough texture, it's going to hold those pesticides longer and deeper, and it's going to be harder to wash them off.
And they're all thin-skinned, so they
Thin
don't take
skins, too.
criticism very well, right?
Yeah.
Or pesticides.
No, they
That's a
don't.
good one.
That was a good one.
You know, we talked about the water in Flint, Michigan a little bit, but it's just not chlorine anymore. Bacteria you got to really watch, right?
Look at this.
And then in Pittsburgh, where we live, you got a lot of the gas drilling going on. And actually, I've seen some videos online where they actually can light the water on fire because of the amount of gas coming out. Yeah, that's scary.
That is.
So be very careful. You always want to make sure anything you're drinking should be filtered or bottled. The best bottle is Fiji or Evian.
Absolutely, hands down.
Yeah. And some people like the filter system. Look, do the best you can, but try and have a strategy.
At the very least, do some filtering.
Right. And we look at toxins overall, they have to go through a very complex process in the body. It's a nutrient-dependent process, right? So if you look at a body that's toxic, the nutritional content of their diet is probably lower, right? Low, yeah. So you got to take a look at this when you're going in with your strategy, Joe, because if you're just going to limit what's coming in, that's not going to support the breakdown of what's in there to get rid of it. So you got to look at, in the liver alone, there's two very complex phases, 1 and 2, and each are nutrient dependent. Because if you don't complete these phases, what happens to these very dangerous toxins?
They store. They stay there. They don't go away. They stay there forever, and they're going to cause problems down the road in many different systems and metabolic functions.
And then when you factor in nutritional frontiers, we're looking at advanced cellular detoxification, all 4 phases, not 1, but 4 phases.
That's right.
So there's 1 and 2 in the liver, 3 is the kidney, and 4 is the bowels. We've talked about this in the past with Dr. Tracy with the bowls, you know, the bowels,
right?
You know, the urine, the lymphatic system, right? You got to look at different ways your body detoxifies every day in a healthy way. But there's 4 main parts of this system, and you got to be able to maximize this. If you don't, these toxins get circulated. And then what happens long term?
Well, long term, they're going to cause other issues in the body, whether it's a cardiovascular issue, whether it's a liver issue, liver toxicity, non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases. So it's skyrocketing, Jay.
What about weight gain? You've got, you know, when you look at overall, you got weight gain, you have skin irritations, allergies, right? Bloating, lack of energy, poor sleep, right? Low strength. There's so many different factors that maybe you're not quote unquote sick, but you do have a toxicity.
Yeah, you may not have a full-blown sickness, but you've got these things going on. You don't know where they're coming from, but then they start to feel normal.
Yeah. I use a very simple test, my belt. If I'm not on the right loop or it's getting a little tighter, then I know to tighten it up a little bit. And right now I'm getting ready for summer because it's never too early.
Never too early to get into bikini season.
And it starts now. So let's shift gears a little bit and look at how does Nutritional Frontiers create some of these PRT formulations? What's the difference in the process? Well, the biggest difference is that we look at what ingredients have historically worked well in the last 50 years at the Wellness Center.
Right. Anecdotal evidence, clinical evidence, call it whatever you want. But the bottom line is it helped people.
And we use all different types of formulas in the Wellness Center. We use Douglas Labs, Metagenic, Standard Process, Orthomolecular, Nutritional Frontiers. You name it, we've used it in the Wellness Center. So we know the ingredients work well. Then we look at, okay, if you wanted to make sure you're getting the best, what do you like for dessert? Cannoli?
Cannoli, yeah.
Where would you go and get that?
Moya's, only one.
So you have to go to the right facility, right?
That's right.
You don't go to the grocery store to get it, right?
No.
So same thing when you're manufacturing nutraceuticals, Joe.
Good point.
We need to make sure we're going to the right facility because each one specializes. One's better at making protein, one's better at probiotics, one's better at SPMs and fish oils. So we have the unique ability and the flexibility at Nutritional Frontiers to work with the right facilities depending on what the goal is. That's an advantage of us not owning one facility that does everything.
And a lot of them, they even specify based on the delivery methods that we use, right?
Chewables, powders, exactly. Right. Then we look at, all right, from all of our partners out there, Which company has the best patent research trademark ingredient? Let's look at Activin, for example.
Activin grapeseed extract. And the neat thing about this grapeseed extract, it's been around a long time. Back in the early 2000s, it was around. So it's had enough time to really be tested. And nothing has had better clinical results than this patented form of grapeseed extract. We love grapeseed extract to begin with. We like liquid grapeseed extract too, as long as it's organic. But there's nothing better than Activin. It's had studies with breast cancer. It's had studies with heart health and blood pressure. Just amazing.
That's just one example of the 30 that we use. Another one is the folate, active folic acid. Right. This supports methylation, regardless if you have the MTHFR predisposition or genetic risk factor. So we're using the best ingredients. Then we do is we create the formula, right, in the classroom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to test the formula in the lab, right? We want to see, okay, we made the formula on paper. We made it in the lab. Now we're going to test it in the lab to see what is the activity of the ingredients when you put them in this combination. Then, Joe, based on the testing results, we create the label.
Right. You know what? I think what needs to also be said here, Jamie, is that, you know, a lot of times during our workshops, we talk about how much experience in the industry we have, right? This is where it comes into play, right? We've seen ingredients for 25, 30 years. We've seen combinations and therapeutic levels for that long. That's where that experience comes in.
Then we test it in our wellness center. Right. Then we launch. Big difference, Joe, rather than just making a Me Too product. There's some of the great ingredients we use. And here's an example of some of the products we've come out with using this whole process, right? So some of these have been around a while that we've updated, such as the Power Cleanse and the Greens. And some of them are completely brand new, 4th generation advanced cellular detoxification with the Live Complete.
That's Live Complete, 4th generation. It's a good thing we stopped putting all those Roman numerals on there.
Yes, we're be too many fingers to count, right? So let's look at some of the ingredients in the Live Complete. Let's start with vitamin C from acerola. What's that mean?
It means it's not from corn.
Oh.
Yeah, how about that?
That's not good?
Nah, corn's genetically modified, and there's a lot of people that don't want it in their products. Well, we went there for you.
So the vitamin C is clean. What about vitacholine? Why is that so important?
Well, because choline is one of those fats, Jamie, that is so important in many metabolic functions, including neurological health. But if you're not getting one that's absorbed well, because it's a fat and hard to absorb, then it's not going to do you any good.
Well, there's Activin we just mentioned.
There it is.
How many times have you seen that in a liver support formula?
Once.
Yeah, this time, right?
Right.
We've added in things like selenium methionine. Excellent for liver function and detoxification. Chlorella, why the cracked cell powder?
Because it's a very hard molecule to absorb, and unless it has this cracked, what cracked cell means is part of the absorption's done for you.
It's like a pre-digested amino acid, right?
Opening the shell of that nut.
We got DMG, darn mighty good. The master methylator in the body feeds 41 transmethylation pathways. I love the Bacillus coagulum. Let's hear your thoughts on a spore-forming probiotic that can tolerate heat, light, humidity, anything.
Yeah, it's a spore-based probiotic. That means it's soil-based. It's of the earth. It's the original plant-based or food-based probiotic that we've always had on this planet, and that's why it.
And I'm so excited about the next one, Imodium, the #1 oral glutathione on the planet, from our partners at Gnosis. Why is glutathione so important, Joe?
It's the master antioxidant in the body, Jamie. It is at the center of everything that's going on with free radical damage, with your immune system, with liver, with your with type 2 diabetes, with heart health, you name it. Glutathione's at the center. It's our master antioxidant. And as we age, we make a lot less of it.
And we didn't stop there. We added in the curcumin because phase 1 detoxification requires strong curcumin. Yeah. And the reason is because oftentimes that's where things go south. It's like a traffic jam, right? So curcumin can actually get us through that phase 1 process a lot easier. Uva ursa for the kidneys, and burdock, of course, one of Dr. Wanda's favorite formulas he used from standard process for years.
Yeah, I know. And milk thistle too. I mean, it's all there. It's all
complete. Look at the methylation homocysteine chart. Imodium's there, folate's there.
Yeah.
These are really important because homocysteine leads to cardiovascular issues. So it's an interesting study on the Imodium. Is they actually depleted glutathione levels, and they want to see how much can they build them back up.
Mm-hmm.
So you use generic glutathione, 50%. We know back in high school, Joe, what was 50?
50. Fail. You're
F.
done. You're done. You're repeating.
NAC, which is a
square one.
great ingredient, it did about 66% improvement in glutathione levels. 66%. It's okay. The Imodium, 140%. This is
Never seen anything like this.
Out of the park.
Out of the park.
Incredible formula. So the curcumin showing 46% better activity than regular curcumin, plus the phytosome, which we used for a long time.
Yeah.
So there's always new technology, new improvements. The folate, excellent for supporting methylation pathways, which actually occur in every cell in the body, not just in the liver.
And Jamie, I think it's important that people realize that whether you have the genetic SNP or
not,
doesn't matter. Why not have the best form of folate available?
I know some docs out there just say, well, just give them 5 milligrams of folic acid. Is that
no? That's like saying, oh, the fire's not burning good enough. Well, just throw a lot more wood on it. That'll help. No.
Good example. And we know we use this in the Women's Complete. They've actually improved pregnancies just by using the active folate. So DMG, we love, Joe. 5 U.S. patents on this ingredient. So excellent overall. This is one for actually autoimmune conditions, right? So I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. So another option we have is we have these in samples, right?
Yes.
So when you try out the formulas, you go to our events, you can always try out the products beforehand. And they taste fantastic. So I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. Here's a case study I want to end with, Joe.
Okay. 83-year-old female. Active, healthy, no meds.
Right. She's a paisan. So she likes to garden, walk, and she likes to talk. So she got advice from her medical doctor that she needed to take the COVID vaccine.
Needed.
Yes.
Because she wasn't healthy enough, right?
Right. And at her age, she's high risk. So she got the vaccine, and immediately within a day or two, she started getting pain in her arm. I met a guy yesterday, a friend of the family, and he got the vaccine, and his arm's been aching since. Young guy, too, 40, 50. So she got to the point where it started going to her legs. She couldn't dress herself, exhausted, sleeping all day. She got tested, and her liver enzymes are through the roof, and they diagnosed her with myocarditis, inflammation of the heart, and inflammation of the muscle, in particular heart. So this has been common. They're seeing an 800% increase in 20-somethings that have been vaccinated. So look, I'm not telling you to get vaccinated or not. I'm just telling you, you need to go in with a plan if you're getting the shot or not. What else are you going to do? Because you can have problems with it or without it. So either way, you still got to take your own health in your own hands, right?
Exactly.
So here's what happened when we looked at her testing. Liver enzymes should be somewhere between 30 and 130. So about 100 would be an average. Hers was 6,215.
Oh, wow. That's off the charts. There's no other way to explain it.
Off the charts?
Oh, there's no chart.
Yeah. The guy thought, the doctor that tested it thought something was wrong. I said, there is something wrong.
Yeah.
Now with the test. So what happened is her body's trying to detoxify. So it's working harder and harder and harder. Now it's working at a level of 6,000.
We should bring up a good point here. Remember, Dr. Tracy always said there's a difference between ingestion and injection, right? When you ingest a toxin, your body gets to somehow start at least to address it.
Well, it's not in the bloodstream.
Yeah, it's not in the bloodstream yet. But when you inject it, you can't. That defense mechanism is not there.
So you got to be careful. So we put her on the program. And in 3 months, her enzymes returned to 70.
That's just incredible. This should be front page news. There's no doubt about it. what a difference in this person's life.
And we've proven with the studies that 100% of people are toxic just by normal metabolic processes every day, right?
Sure.
You don't do anything above and beyond that.
No.
And then you factor in everything else people are exposed to. And a lot of it's stuff that you ingest by choice, such as a vaccine or medication
or fast food.
Fast
The
food.
lines are still around the block in those places.
So you got to be careful, folks. A little bit of poison each day adds up to a lot.
Right.
And these are toxins you continue to build up. So, Joe, I appreciate you making time. I know you're real busy getting ready.
Getting ready.
For the trip down to Florida. I've never seen him smile so big.
Oh, I can't
so
wait.
have a great trip down there. We're excited. And
I'll be working a little too,
Yeah. Well, what we do is not really work. It's just what we do. So thanks so much for watching, all the support. We have a big event coming up in the great city of Tampa Bay. Got about a couple weeks left. So we do have more seats available.
Good.
That is for Saturday, February 19th, with Dr. Lisa Coates talking about her 11 pillars of health, how to help with healing and performance, and all her experience in functional medicine. She's a #1 speaker for Tony Robbins recently, and she's triple board certified. Then Dr. Len and yours truly, Jamie Dorley, are going to talk about the 5 clinical pearls and protocols every practice needs.
Good. Love it. That sounds
so thanks so much. Hope to see everyone down in Tampa, Florida. Have a great day. Enjoy.